Hey guys, Jared here, and okay, so let's get started. Okay, the tools we will need first, obviously we want this. We want the Swiftech water cooler. Second, you need a screwdriver. Now see, so I get close to the camera, this is like a multi-screwdriver, so it has a bunch of different kinds in it, which is very useful when you're working on stuff like this. Oh, if you guys are wondering why, I don't know if I ever said this, why my name's Ginger Tech. I'm Ginger. Very creative. Anyways, so you just want a regular Phillips screwdriver for most things, unless everything you have is thumb screws. But I'm suspecting there's some things that I have to unscrew with actual screwdrivers, so precautionary measure. Usually people always say ground yourself. I always just constantly touch this, but I just got a watch recently, and it's metal, so this should ground me pretty much for the most part, but I'll still touch this constantly, so I'll ground myself that way. Drink. Always gotta stay hydrated. And then when you are taking off your other, your old heat sink and your fan or whatever you have on there, or any other thing that was on your CPU as a cooler, you want to go ahead and wash off the old thermal paste with some paper towels and rubbing alcohol. You can also use lighter fluid. I usually use lighter fluid, but for some reason I couldn't find any, so I just stuck with this. Works the same way. The perks of it is it dries really fast after using it, so it's not like water where it stays a little damp afterwards. Alright, so let's get started. Oh, and by the way, this is just going to be a time lapse of me doing all the boring stuff, so don't worry, I'm not going to make you go through that. A little dusty, a little dusty. So there's a water block right there. I'm actually, this is surprising. They usually put on pre-applied thermal paste, but I guess they realize most people don't use it because it tends to cause heating problems, because on most aftermarket heat sinks and stuff, they usually apply like a big circle blob of thermal paste, but see, the problem with that is that like oversaturates, I guess, like it has too much thermal paste on your CPU, so that tends to cause problems in the future with overheating. But usually you just want to use a pea-sized amount of thermal paste, and then you just kind of push it down, and that usually gets the job done. Alright, so here's the radiator, and here's the water block like I showed you before, and the nice, I think it's 1/4-inch tubing, maybe more, I'm not for sure. I didn't look at the specs that well. But they're good size. They're not like the real flimsy kind that you usually have on all-in-one heat coolers. Manual. Read that in a second. Luckily, they gave us some thermal paste in this syringe, so that's good. I had some extra one on standby from my last aftermarket. I have a Cooler Master Evo 212, I believe, and I still have a little bit left from that, more than enough for just a pea size. So, but I'll use this one just because they gave it to me. They actually also gave you a not pre-install, but a PWM controller, like a fan controller. So I guess you can control your fan speeds that are connected. The fans that are connected to this can also that connect to this fan. They control off each other, I guess. They go at the same speeds, I'm guessing. That's what my understanding of it. I've never used a PWM fan controller like this before. I've always just kind of used the ones that I have built into the case. So these are the parts. I'm assuming these are AMD brackets because I think this is Intel that's on there right now. I use the AMD Phenom 2X6 1100T. Yeah. So that's like a 3.4 gigahertz, and I overclocked to 3.8. Using this, I might actually overclock it to like 4 or 4.2 if I'm lucky. Kind of depends. AMD CPUs, the older ones at least, are a little bit more of a pain to overclock with, especially on AMD motherboards. They're not as easy as Intel. So that's one downfall, but they might have gotten better in the future. I wouldn't doubt it. But yeah. Okay. So it fits most bracket, or yeah, the brackets fit most CPUs, except for like really old ones, I believe. Or actually, I don't know. It might fit some old Intel ones, but yeah, FM1, FM2's on there. Is that FM? Yeah. So yeah, this one actually fits most, even older ones, even 939. So yeah. This is a keeper. It's so weird looking at the camera and like everything's reversed. Okay, sorry. So I'm gonna put this right here and I'm gonna refocus the camera. There you go. Hopefully that's like that. It's not autofocus or anything, so it's manual. All right, let's get to work. One more thing I forgot. Tool. If you have like a coaster or anything, or just anything to keep all like your bolts and stuff so you don't lose them, they don't fall off the table. Always a good thing to have on you. So that's what I'm working with right there. So there's my 212, and there's my graphics card, there's my SSD, Cougar fan, power supply. Hopefully you guys can see that pretty well. I don't really want to bring the camera over here so I mess it up, but actually I'm going to move the camera anyways. But anyways, I'll get you a better viewpoint on how this looks from above. So it's pre-installed with an Intel chipset bracket, motherboard bracket. So since I'm using AMD, I have to go ahead and unscrew them. I turned off the camera so you guys wouldn't have to see me awkwardly take this out. You're welcome. Anyways, here it is. The part where it mounts to the, actual motherboard is kind of loose, so but that's on the bottom. That was a pain in my ass to install because it's like spring loaded and shit, and it was bad. But it's a really good and affordable aftermarket CPU cooler. So if you don't want to water cool, or if you're just tired of your stock fan, which I wouldn't recommend doing, especially if you're into gaming, buy an aftermarket fan. Sorry, excuse me. The Cooler Master Evo 212. Very good and affordable. It goes in between, on Newegg it's like between like $28 to $30 some. They usually have, it goes on sale quite a bit, so I would recommend that one. Time to clean my CPU. Okay. So here's what you gotta do. Just take a couple things of couple of like the perforated paper towel things, and just kind of fold it. I can't see, but just kind of fold it about what, 2 by 3, 2 by 4, 2 by 3, yeah. I don't know, maybe 3 by 2. Either way, and my RAM is dirty. Okay, so you pretty much just fold your paper towel up so it absorbs most of the stuff and you don't want to like overdo the amount of lighter fluid or rubbing alcohol that you put onto it. And you kind of just, here, I'll zoom out for you. You kind of just take it and then you do this. And then see, you have like a nice little amount of rubbing alcohol. And same goes with lighter fluid. Okay, well I'm going to zoom back in here. Still in focus. And see, I went with the pea-size amount of fluid, not fluid, sorry, of thermal paste there when I installed my Evo 212. And see how it's not like a big like glob of stuff, like you can actually see it's a little bit transparent. That's a good thing. And see, a pea-size amount did that, like it spread the whole thing, but it didn't have to be like that beforehand, like how some pre-installed thermal paste or pre-applied thermal paste on some aftermarket coolers. But anyways, so you just pretty much just wipe it off and it'll look like that. It'll be gross. You're probably gonna have to do it a few more times just to get all of it off, get it nice and clean. You also don't want to get any of, you don't want to touch it with your fingers because you can get smudge on it from like the oil and grease on your skin, and that can mess up with it like overheating. And I mean, you wouldn't think it would, but I think it also messes with the thermal paste. But it's just kind of a general rule to go by. Okay, see, and now I got a good amount of it off, but I'm going to go ahead and fold it to a clean side, and I'm going to do it again with another dose of rubbing alcohol. Hey guys, look, it's my biggest fan. Seriously, I hate this fan. It's really noisy. It's been unplugged since like the first month I've had this case, which was like a year ago. What are you doing up there? What are you? Oh, you want to get a bird's eye view? Okay, yeah, because otherwise I just would have been like Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's why you didn't see me like install the radiator and the fans, because I had no view angle that would have looked good at all. Oh, okay, yeah, I could totally make sense. Okay, so now what we're going to do. Why am I looking in the camera? Okay, so I'm just gonna talk to you guys. So now what we're going to do is we're going to destroy a computer. Yeah, we're gonna set it on fire and throw it all away. No, but what we're going to do is we're going to finally install the actual block. And what's cool about this one, I guess you don't even have a bracket to install on the other side. You just have to screw these in until the springs that are on the screws, you can't really see that very well, but there's springs on. Here's some other ones I'll show you. Oh. Focus. Let's see, can you see that? Anyways, there's springs on there. A little bit more. There you go. yeah, you just screw those in until they bottom out and where they can't screw anymore because it's a spring. Alright. Well, now is finally the time where we peel off the protectant plastic off of the block. And if I can find the thermal paste, here it is. We apply the thermal paste, take off the cap. Actually, I have to lay this down because I forgot to take off the cap. Alright. And now you may be wondering, well, do I apply it to this or do I apply it to that? You almost always, I don't even know why you would, but you always apply it to the actual CPU. So I'll get a nice zoom in. Actually, that's all I can go because it's kind of high up on a tripod. But you guys can see, right? Yeah, okay. So you just want to go in the center. I'm going to hold it with both hands just so it stays out. And you just want to pee. Like you got to go to the bathroom. No, you just want a pea-sized amount, very small. And then after you're done with, after you're done with the thermal paste, put the cap back on the tube. And now it is time to screw this baby in. Hopefully I don't mess up. Okay, so there's definitely going to be some weird cuts in this video. That's mainly due to I've never installed a water cooler before. Installed a CPU cooler with a fan, but nothing like this. So yeah, there are definite setbacks, and that's why there's some random cuts where you see it like half done and like part of it being a time lapse, and that's just because the angles are weird that I was recording at, and also just due to the fact that a lot of the installation process is pretty tiresome, and I was messing up pretty bad, and I didn't want to show you guys the wrong way to do it. And one of the main problems was I actually had to find my my stock AMD CPU backplate that goes on the bottom side back under here, and luckily I still had it. I threw away the actual stock cooler, but luckily I kept the backplate. Probably could have used my backplate for the Evo 212, but I stuck with what they told me to use. So yeah, all I have to do now is just hook up the fans up here. Almost forgot about those actually. That would have been bad. And so yeah, and I'm all set. And see you guys later. Bye.